Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Brothers and sisters in the diaspora, CARICOM, and anywhere else that you're getting us. We're on RealFM 91.9, 91.5. We're on We Noise FM 94.9. That is in Brooklyn, New York. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to our program. The number to call is 442-0175. And we encourage you to determine what we speak about. Make your contribution. Ask questions. We express our opinion on any matter. We fear no subject matter. So you could give us a call. While we await for your call on 442-0175, today we want to provoke some discussion. We advance the position there should be no blind school. There should be no deaf school. And there should be no special ed school. Children should attend regular school. A child is a child. Obviously, there are children that have different needs. But you can get that in regular schools. Our children that go to the deaf school, or the blind school, or special ed school, they are expected at the end of their journey to come back and function in the society. They're not living in a special society. They're living in Grenada. They're expected to come and work with companies that function in Grenada. So why did you separate them at school? Ask a girl, where you go to school? Pam. That means she picked cotton successfully while she was in school. So they remove her and send her in Pam. There are other people that pick cotton. They was not successful. They commit murder. They abort the child. So they could continue in regular school. It is not forward thinking. It is unprogressive. And it is fractious. Children should go to regular school. All children. If you have the children in the deaf, and let me give you an example. If you're in St. Andrews, all the children that are deaf or special ed, they go to RC. And as they advance, they go to SAS. All the children that are blind, we send them in Methodist. And then they go to Grenville Secondary. Yes, there would be necessary accommodations that have to be made in this school. The necessary logistics is in place. But they must not go to different schools. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Jenny Williams here again from Union in St. Andrews.
Yeah.
With the same issue where my brother signed the contract, and them self who give him contract, they say he didn't sign, but I have the paper, I have the black and white in my hand. I come out in the ministry with him. They know the ministry where he signed the contract, and they tell him Mr. Callis have to come and see the work, and then for the issue the check on his maybe.
Well, sometimes you have to have people to stand up for you. You hear this story, they say the boy do a godfather. And a lot of people in the lower income group, they doesn't have godfather. So it's a very good thing that you prepare to stand up to
With
see justice done.
Yeah, this is my brother.
Yes. Yes.
So I now come out in the ministry. They give me the number to call. They say Mr. Callis have to come and watch the work before they issue the check to him.
All right.
I show a man in the ministry the paper. He say My brother signed. There is no way nobody could get the contract money on their name.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting to hear what the ministry have to when they call and say when the check will be ready.
So you have to give them a while and monitor.
Yeah, I'm giving them a while. I'm giving them up to to see what how long.
Yeah.
They're too tricky.
We have to be our brother's keeper.
Yes, and then it's not my brother alone there, because there are two other people that are ready.
But somebody have to bear the cap.
Yeah. They do other people that are ready. They're too unjust. Yeah. You can't do people this thing on them. Give them contract and say ministry say you unfit for the contract because you're drinking rum. He's not the first person that drink rum.
Well, drinking rum too.
Yeah, he's not the first person that drinking rum.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mr. Pierre, have a blessed
Thank
day.
you, caller. Thank you.
Okay, love.
Yeah, we have to be our brother's keeper. We could have a better society, but man is so easy to be tempted and go wrong that we have to have rules. We have to have regulation. We have to have strong characters. And we have to encourage our brothers and sisters to walk the straight and narrow. And I have been taking issues with the government because they flaunt the law with impunity. And when you start to do that, it trickles down in our society. People say monkey do what monkey see. So if they believe that the government flaunts the law in the GDB bank and raid the bank, and they look at what happened to National Lottery, and they heard about what's going on in gravel and concrete, it will only get worse. It will only get worse. If people are not saying no, you're going on the wrong trajectory, the wrong road. This is not good. So they could check themselves. So when we speak, we are seeking their interest. Yes? So that is a good action you take, Sister Jenny. The number to call is 442-0175. I advance the position, we must not have a blind school. We must not have a deaf school. We must not have special ed. We must have regular schools. These children should be sent in regular school. The necessary logistics and needs must be provided for them in the school. You are really putting them at a disadvantage. They have to learn at a very early age to interact and work with the public. The other children in the school have to learn to look after them, to be compassionate, to show empathy, to reach out. So if you send the children to SAS that has hearing deficiency, you teach sign language in the whole school. And you make it compulsory. Sign language. So everybody in the school have to do sign language. So you encourage communication with them. I know there will be logistic problems. I know you have to make certain adjustments. I know you will not be able to use all schools for that. But in a small society like us, and the number of children that are blind or have hearing problems or special skill, the number is not great. So at least in every parish, you could get a primary school and you could get a secondary school to ably deal with their concerns. And the children in that school may do better. They may become more loving and compassionate. Because that's what you want to build your society on. If you send them to a special school, it seems that you expect them to live in a special country. They are living in the same country and have to access the same facilities, whether the hospital, the shopping center, the service providers, or the dance hall. So why not send them in the regular school so they get used to, they're able to better socialize with the children in the school. You don't have to believe me. Ask any psychologist. In yesteryear and decades ago, we thought that might have been better. But society is realizing that they're not living in a vacuum. So you're teaching them how to function with their peers and their people. You are not marginalizing them. What we do, we marginalizing them. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, caller, welcome.
You hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I don't hear y'all talking about integrity in public life. What about them who in government now? We can know what they're coming with and what they're going out with. We have to talk about that more. Right?
What is it? Yes, caller. All right, thank you, caller. Yeah, well, we encourage people. There's a lot of different topics you could speak about. If you want us advocate a particular topic, you could tell us before, and we may do some research on it and speak about it. But in this program, you could call and introduce your subject matter. And other callers may make their contribution in it. We believe that if we work together and we discuss issues, we brainstorm, we think tank, we could come up with solutions. And you don't come up with problem for the solution, but you come with solutions for the challenges that you have. As a people, we have to believe that we have the answers to address the challenges that we have. And today we have special ed school, the blind school, the deaf school. It is not necessary. Send the children in regular school and provide the necessary things for them in the school. When they exit school, they are not living in a special country. They are expected to function and progress and do well and live in the very said community. Blind people fall in love and get married to people that are not blind. Deaf people communicating with people that could speak. So you strengthen that bond, that socialized bond from day one. And you teach the language so they could communicate with one another. They'll better able to understand one another. We speak a lot about, every now and then we speak about making the physical environment conducive for people who are challenged to move, people who have wheelchairs, etc. And it seems that they're struggling to get those so-called normal people in society to assist them. But if you train them up in the same school, they will be more ready to provide the facilities for them. Close down the blind school. In St. Andrews, send all blind children in RC. Send all deaf children in Methodist for logistic purposes. As they progress, send them in SAS. send them in Grenville Secondary School. Yes, caller, welcome.
Sir Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I may not agree with your opinions, but I respect them about the special ed and so on, because I need to attend those schools. But Mr. Pierre, what I'm calling about today, 18 November, it was a dark day in Grenada's history. 1973, when the tyrant, the dictator Eric Gary, unleashed terror on the leadership of the NGM. 6 persons were beaten, almost killed, whose heads were flushed in the toilet by innocent Belma and other rogue police officers. We hear nothing about that today. Lest we forget. Let us remember that bottles were broken and Bishop's head was shaved. Bishop got his eye injured, an injury that he had for life until he was killed in crossfire on the 19th of October. Mr. Pierre, let us remember those days, under the dark days of Eric Gary. Thank you.
That caller, don't go. That day you will consider as Bloody Monday? Yes, that caller gone. Caller wanted some more information. I want you to know if that is the day you consider as Bloody Monday. Is that the day it took place in Grenville? And it was in the month of November in truth. Today is the 18th of November. I don't know if it's the same incident you're talking about. But we have to do the historicity in the history. Maurice Bishop had a people's court in Simon. And he signed an arrest warrant for the Prime Minister then, Eric Gary. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, no, that was Bloody Sunday, not Bloody Monday. Bloody Monday was January 21st, 1974.
Right, so caller.
So 18 November was Bloody Sunday.
All right, so that is Bloody Sunday. That's what took place in Grenville.
In Grenville, yes.
Right, but caller.
When the leadership of the party went to meet with the business people in Grenville, and Gary decided to unleash terror.
Caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
That situation you talk about, the flushing in toilet, is that situation associated with it?
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
You sure?
They were taken to the Grenville police station, and that's where the heads were flushed in the toilet bowls.
All right.
Morris Bishop, Selwyn Strachan, Kenrick Radix. It was 6 of them in all that were beaten on that day.
Yes, that was a day when Bloody Sunday, when Morris Bishop and his crew was beaten in Grenville.
Yes.
They accused Innocent Belma in the Duffus Commissioner report of doing the beating. But you remember what Michael Raddick said? You remember what Michael Raddick said?
Michael Raddick?
Michael, how you call the lawyer that was the bishop?
Kenrick Raddick.
Kenrick Raddick. He said if it wasn't for Innocent Belma, the leader of the people would not have been alive today. Selwyn Strachan would not have been alive. Unison Whiteman would not have been alive. I would not have been alive. Innocent Belma is a complex man. You remember Gary played that on the radio for 3 months?
Yeah, but Gary tried to use that to his advantage.
But caller, when they went in the Duffus Commission, they lied. They said it was Belma that beat them. But Belma prevented people from beating them.
It was spearheaded. It was done under the water.
Caller, Belma prevented people from beating them.
No, Mr. Pierre, no.
When they went,
Belma was the person in charge of the spot that did the work.
Those who beat them was not regular police.
No.
So Belma was not in charge of them.
They were part of the Mongoose.
Then why do you think Radek said, if it wasn't for Innocent Belma and Bishop, I am vexed him? That was a deviation from what was said in the Duffus Commission. But I agree with you, they get some lash that day.
Yes.
And
serious
one of
lash. Serious lash.
They get, but there were no broken bones. They said Bishop got an injury above his eye.
his eyes. Left
But none
eye.
of them had a broken bone or otherwise.
Yes.
And why you
Bishop
think?
had a broken jaw as well.
And why you think Bishop never challenged it in court? Because Maurice Bishop had a battery of lawyers in. So why do you believe he never challenged Gary in court with empirical evidence as that?
Well, that was dealt with in the Duffers Commission.
And they lie in the first commission. So when Radix come back and say, if it wasn't for innocent Belmont, the leader of the thing would not have been alive today.
Radix said it, and it was an error on his part.
How you guys no, they didn't want him to say that.
Listen to me.
They didn't want Radix to say that.
When it was played back to him, Radix fainted because he didn't realize what he was saying.
It is stupidity.
He didn't realize what he was saying.
A big lawyer don't realize what he said. Radix was a lawyer of no mean quality. You know?
I know.
So when they corner Radix, they say you shouldn't say that. But Radix was speaking the truth. They told lies to the Duffers Commissioner report. But the beating they got at that day was as a result of the arrest warrant that Maurice Bishop signed in Simon in the People's Court for Eric Gary. And he gave him...
Which was justified.
It was justified.
Yes.
So when they come, people say they come to arrest Gary, so Gary supporters drop some lash on them?
No, they didn't go to Grenville for that purpose. They went to Grenville.
Are you saying...
planned in being
are you saying...
this community in Grenville.
Are you saying that Maurice Bishop went to Simmons in the public, in the People's Court, and signed a warrant for the arrest of the Prime Minister? You said that was justified?
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Well, it was justified to give him some lash in Grenville?
Mr. Pierre, the end justifies the means. If that was the means to get rid of the evil over this land...
Well, caller, I well agreed. Sorry they didn't get some more.
Wow.
They should have got some lash. They went in Simon and signed a warrant. Maurice Bishop had a battery of lawyers. Why didn't he take Gary to court?
And then all they talk about being Christian society.
They push Christianity in that because Bishop did not believe in Christianity. It's a cheap strategy to make Christians hush them out. Bishop did not believe in Christianity. Bishop did not believe in religion. Maurice Bishop was a lawyer. With him was a battery of lawyers. So he had to take Gary to court. Instead, he went in Simon, thousands of people, and he signed an arrest warrant and give Gary 14 days to go to the nearest police station. So the 14 days up when he come up in Grenville. Which place he was in Grenville, caller? You say he coming to meet businessman. Which place he was in Grenville? You're not there. You're gone. Maurice Bishop deserved the lash. You should have get a little more. Maurice Bishop had a battery of lawyers. Why didn't he challenge Gary legally? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. Today, Maka, at the Saturday, Saturday the 18th November 1978, when a white pastor from America take us to people and bring them in the jungle in Guyana and kill over 900 and something. It could be over 800 and something black people was among them. So I just said
that is Jim Jones. That is Jim Jones.
Yeah. What a man of God.
I was in Guyana at that time.
Under Christianity, what he could do, just take a people from the land, take them, sell everything, and just go over and just kill all of them. And I remind because other people, young people might know this thing happened like about 46 years ago.
I used to live in Ghana at that time.
Right. Yeah, so that just awareness for people to be very careful. Not because man come and preach God and preach that.
Not everybody who say Lord is going to enter heaven.
So yeah, take him up here.
Yeah, and you communists must not use Christianity conveniently. Maurice Bishop went to Simon in the People's Court and he signed a warrant for the arrest of Eric Matthew Gary, the Prime Minister of the country. Maurice Bishop had a battery of lawyers within his political party. If Gary had done something wrong or excesses, challenge it in the court. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
He was my HM bowler, man.
Right by Bola, no, HM.
Yeah, yes.
So the
yes,
color,
yes.
no.
Yes, I remember that very well, very well.
And that was the 14 days after they give Gary to report to the nearest police station.
Yes, and I want to believe that is the same third Sunday when they put a house on the airport in Brazil. And no plane couldn't land.
No, that wasn't the same Sunday.
That wasn't the same time.
No. When the guy died in Grenville Secondary.
Okay.
That is when they went to demonstration. They take the students from the school.
Yes.
I used to be in that school that time.
And listen to me, there's something you said, I'm not in agreement with the deaf and the blind children going into the ordinary school.
Yes.
I don't think that is wise. No. If ever, that should have been there from the beginning, in my opinion.
But a lot of people thought in the past that if you have them in different schools, it's going to be better. But later on, they said they're going to give them more attention. But later on, they found out, after you educate these people in different schools, you expect them to go and work with the businessmen.
Yeah, but then again...
And there is no socialization.
Then again, I'll tell you something. Sending them there now, you see, you have children, they will be uncomfortable. Because there are children in school who don't respect the deaf, the dumb, and the blind.
But that is a way to train the children in the school.
You can't train them children in school now, they get out of hand already.
No, I don't give up, caller. I don't give up at all.
Not all, you know.
No, and that is it, not all. If you ask any school child, what percentage of children giving trouble in the school, they're telling you is less than 10.
And those who don't to learn.
Less than 10% of the children that giving trouble.
Yeah.
So if it's less than 10, that is acceptable numbers.
Okay.
And if you have a school, most schools that have chronic ill-discipline problem, the principal of the school don't good.
Right. He can't control the school.
He can't control the school. Teachers are coming to school.
Okay, have a good afternoon. Listening, you man.
Yes, caller.
Right.
So the idea is, if we have, the time has come that for us to seriously consider, start to discuss the issue. Would it not be better if you have the blind children going to regular schools? The same environment that you have in a special school, you make it conducive in a regular school. They don't have a special bus going to school. They're not living in a special home. They're not in a special hospital. Why you have a special school? You socialize in them for a fractured society. And we like to say that children give in trouble in school. But I say to people, children is children. Just as how children was 1,000,000 years ago, generally same thing children is. And less than 10% of the children in school that you have disciplinary problem with. Less than 10%. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, there's a very important point that a caller of yours raised a while ago about Jim Jones, another criminal. A friend of Eric Gary. These are the people that he associated himself with. Jim Jones, Pinochet in Chile, that dictator in South Korea. Mr. Pierre.
What was the name of the dictator in South Korea?
Those who assemble resemble.
You sure you want to make that statement now when you deal with Bishop?
Mr.
Bishop
Pierre.
support himself with Cuba. Fidel Castro.
Mr. Pierre, these are progressive people.
That is based upon your ideological perspective.
Yes.
That is based
was one of the most progressive leaders in the world.
Caller. That
He
is
was
on.
the most progressive leader. It's Fidel Castro. So
Caller, don't run. Don't go away.
Would you compare Fidel with Jim Jones?
Well, Jim Jones was a religious person. He was not a political person per se.
He was a criminal, Mr. Pierre. He was a criminal. He was
Caller. Let us look at the point.
Let's not go there. Because we all know.
Watch me. Let me tell you something. When you introduce subject matter with me, I don't run from nothing.
No, I
don't run from no subject matter.
I am just saying.
So you cannot make a statement.
He was a criminal.
And I don't challenge you on the word that you use, criminal. It depends on the perspective you're using. Some people think Maurice Bishop is a hero, and I call him a common criminal. So nothing is because of different perspective. You say, based upon the ideology, Maurice Bishop right to lock up people without trial. And I say no.
Mr. Pierre, in a revolution, things are done
yes, you see how you come in a revolution?
No.
Based upon the perspective.
Things are done differently. And sometimes you have sham trials.
So that is accepted.
And sometimes you have innocent people getting.
And you believe that is acceptable in a revolution?
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Right. So I believe Bishop was a criminal.
Well, that's your belief.
A common criminal.
Popular belief.
That's your belief. Bishop jailed 3,000 Grenadians.
How many people
over 3,000 Grenadians
after the revolution, Mr. Pierre? Over 600,000 Americans were jailed.
We're not talking about America. We're talking about Grenada.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Grenada. Mr. Pierre.
I don't know how you could justify.
A revolution. After the great American Revolution, over 600,000 people were jailed. But you all don't talk about that. The biggest capitalist society. You don't hear nothing about that.
All right, man. When we speak about politics, it boils down to people who advocate that because it's a revolution, nothing is wrong with it. They feel because Grenada had a revolution in 1979, and I would tell them it's a coup d'etat, an experiment that did not work out. And Maurice Bishop deceived the people because the reason he justified for the revolution was because of lack of freedom of the press under Eric Gary. Gary passed a law that you have to deposit $20,000 with the consolidated fund if you open a newspaper. Because he said when they're libeling people, then they're saying the newspaper bankrupt, they can't pay. So Gary said the newspaper is a strategy to libel people. So deposit $20,000 with the consolidated fund. Bishop and them disagreed with that, and I disagree with it too. They say that is against freedom of the press. They said there was irregularity in the 1972 election. Then why didn't they challenge it in court? Bishop had a battery of lawyers. So the justification, the premise, the correctness for overthrowing the legitimate government, when Bishop come, Bishop deviated from all these principles. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. You see, when we look at the mentality of the leftists and then those communists and this kind of people, they don't believe in God. And the simple reason why is because the creator that creates man, they know there is a God, but they are pretending. Clearly state that he creates man, all men equal. God never give man dominion over man. And these people, the way they are behaving is that there is a group that have dominion over the rest. The blows that Bishop got wasn't sufficient. In fact, they should have flushed Bishop through the whole system, the whole title system, because he behaved as though Grenada belonged to him, as though he got the will for Grenada, and refused to respect the democratic system, whereby a democratically elected government, he put on trial the prime minister to get rid of him. I don't think he gets sufficient blows. Look at how he ended up. And this nonsense about what happened in the United States. Right is right as wrong, and wrong is wrong. God never gives any man dominion over any man. And that's the reason why my belief is that all men are created equal, and no man have dominion over me. My belief is in one God. And the communists and them, those leftists, they will soon realize that the God that they say they don't believe in, the time coming, they could laugh now when they have to face him one day and answer for the actions. Have a good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, every time we have a discussion with those who want to make Maurice Bishop a shining star of Fidel Castro, they tell you it's a revolution. Fidel Castro in power over 60 years now. Fidel Castro Communist Party. They still have people in jail. All the Caribbean leaders are calling on the Americans to free the embargo on Cuba. And I believe the Americans should free the embargo too. But they're not calling on Cuba to release political prisoners. Cubans would like to come on the radio and speak like me. They can't do it. They're ending up in jail. So our leaders in the Caribbean, from Mia Mockley to Deacon, must call on Castro. No more political prisoners and freedom of the press. And at the same time, ask the Americans to lift the embargo. Too many Grenadians are telling me Bishop was right to jail all these people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr.
Yes,
Pierre.
my
How are
brother.
you today?
Yeah, my brother, good.
All right. The argument is this. You see, and that is where we are. That's the reason why I do not discuss politics with a group of people. I discuss politics with just one person, and we'll exchange ideas. I don't get no heated argument with that. Because to me, politics is out of the way as far as I'm concerned these days. The rhetoric that is played, and that's what all of them do the same. They play games with the citizens, and that's the reason why you see I stay shy of the politics and I go to the economics, and I said the economy for the development of the people. And if we concentrate on that and do what we're supposed to do as leaders, as representatives, as builders, we will not have the argument of politics. Because I'll tell you something, we're going to continue with this argument between party and parties forever. And this country is going to go to naught because we're getting there. We're getting there. The politics is becoming more pronounced, more dangerous, and we are losing the economics. People are becoming poorer. The country is seeing less and less revenue year after year. And what we do, we go for loans, high food prices, and the problem. You see, so we have to move away from the politics and the rhetoric of the politics, and let us see how much we could focus on the economy, growing the economy, to put people to work, to give them employment, salaries, so they could spend. That is where we should be concentrating. Have a great day, sir.
Yes, scholar, thank you. No, I could never find it justified that in a society you pick up over 3,000 people and send them in prison because they don't agree with your ideological perspective. It's not that Maurice Bishop campaign on a platform that we go have a one-party state, no radio station. He never to say campaign that. He overthrew the legitimate government. He lied to the public about the justification for overthrowing the government. He promised free election within 6 months. And after 4 years, Maurice Bishop said no Westminster type of government. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Your thoughts about the
children in the school.
Yeah, I think it's very good. It's very thought provoking. Yeah, I like ideas like that. But what I want to know, how many teachers would be in a classroom?
Well, presently we have the same amount of. You have a blind school, so let us suppose physically you transfer the blind school to SAS. The same teachers who involved in now teaching the blind children, some of them would be involved in teaching the children in SAS. But there are some subject matters that could be taught. For instance, all the blind children could then choir singing with children that are blind. They could be playing music with children that are blind. You know? So it's a question of trying to socialize these people together because they live in same society.
So do blind children do math?
Of course. They do braille, they do mathematics.
So no, what I'm asking, when maths time come around, there has to be somebody who doing science or something?
Well, you could have their own maths teacher teaching them braille in the school. Because the blind school exists already, you know. But it exists for itself. Nobody has meddled with them, they're blind. Yeah. So what you do, you bring them in the school, the same physical space, and you teach also compassion and encourage one another to look after one another. And their programs, they will be attending the assembly together. They could be in the same choir singing. There are some subject matter that one teacher will be able to reach them. There are times when you're teaching something, you have somebody making sign language. But you're socializing them together. Take, for instance, you have deaf children. The whole school have to do sign language. I making sign language compulsory in the school.
Exactly.
So although you have deaf children, dumb children in the school, but where sign language is concerned, it is compulsory for the whole school.
Good.
So now if somebody who could, even parents can communicate with the deaf children. But the easiest girl to get is a deaf girl. You know? You just make some sign, you push your finger, you juke. She understand what you said.
Before I go, the first person that told me that the revolution was a coup d'etat was Andrew Brzezinski. You know?
A coup d'etat. He was a coup d'etat. He was a coup d'etat. He was not a revolution. But I like to give them the word revolution. They experimented with revolution and it failed badly.
Yeah.
And every time you want to look at the failure, they tell you, where is a revolution? So it's a revolution, you have to castrate man. They hold on the man. They hold his foot, they hold his neck, they hold his chest, they hold his leg. They still can't, when the man jumping up still, you know, they hit him a gun butt. They hit him a gun butt in his mouth and mash up his teeth and he surrender. They ask him, do you know how they castrating a pig? And he tell them yes. They say, how? He say, well, you cut the balls and you put some salt water. They say, you will be castrated like a pig, but we'll add pepper. So you have to have a revolution to do somebody that? What's about the policeman that Bobby Clark out of the pong out the toe? They just pong out all him and toe him. And Bobby Clark asked him, you were not the one that they beating outside? Are getting lashed? He said, yes. He said, but God blow me man, you were not crying at all. Why? The man said, well, they told him they're going to execute him this evening. So it don't make sense crying for 2 lash. So Bobby Clark say it's tough. So he make them pong out the 2 nail. What's about Clotilde? You have to have a revolution to that. Maurice Bishop, I doesn't talk about those women much. But you look at it, start to talk about them. Maurice Bishop had an important woman in St. Patrick's. He had a caucus with her. When he went up to have that session with her, her spouse had to go outside while Bishop having a meeting with her. He handed her a chin. And when Bishop finished, he waved Bishop going. He couldn't squeak. They took advantage on people. We cannot support that. We ought not to support that. When the guys out the cigarette on Maurice Bishop, And Maurice Bishop complained. They say, you that teach us to do that. Bishop always smoking. But that was a torture method he used, out his cigarette on his victims. They don't want to accept the fact that the excesses of the revolution was totally unacceptable. It was unacceptable. Over 3,000 people in jail. I'm only speaking about the people Maurice Bishop signed the order for to go to jail. The woman from the Holy Comforter who went to prison, Maurice Bishop didn't sign she order. She spent about 2 weeks and she husband used to bring she baby twice a day for her to nurse. Maybe about 2,000 others was in prison, shot different time. Maurice Bishop didn't sign the order. The PRA played with an individual table tennis racket. The man complained, he said, give me my racket. Nobody ain't playing with my racket. And I used to play table tennis too. We had some, particularly when you have a bad sponge racket. You don't want nobody knock a racket. You don't give nobody a racket to play with. The guys went to jail for that. Now, in a society, you ought not to support that. And a number of the individuals who are propagating Maurice Bishop as a hero. And they will tell you Gary had excesses. Kennedy Boudlal has called the name of some of the individuals with how much convictions they had that Gary had in the voluntary constabularies for the protection of human rights. The reason Gary advanced perhaps was unacceptable. But if you found out that these individuals committed crime, and Bishop always said they have the evidence, why didn't he take the matter to court? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I've stated a few times on radio. I sat with Maurice Bishop in 1974 on the same couch planning to take over this country. I was a little boy at the time. He's a little bit older than me. Mr. Pierre, I was not just a supporter of the NJM party. I was a member of the NJM party. In due time, Simon Charles of Latas River Sally, who you might know very well because he was one of the most known agriculturists in this country, or a farmer, I should say, well known, awarded how much times as number one farmer around. He was the president of the organization in St. Patrick's East. That's where I'm from. That's all. He, I tell you, he was the head, but he recommended to the group that make me the president. So I became the president of the organization in the St. Patrick's constituency after that time. Whilst I was president of the party, Mr. Pierre, I used to say that when we come into power, we will be no different from Gary and the Garyites. When in 1976, I got fed up with lies. I'm a person, you don't get me lying on people. Bishop used to lie a lot. That's a fact. And a lot of framing up used to be done to make Gary look bad. I used to say, Mr. Pierre, that when we get into power, we'll be no different from Gary and the Garyites. When they, in 1970, I left the party in 1976, right? In 79, they took power. And the excesses of the revolution, the excesses of Maurice Bishop himself, was worse than what Gary did. People need to accept that as a fact. That's what happened, how it happened. Bishop was just about the most arrogant person you could find. All the guys who took over the country, and you will know them from Tivoli, Kennedy, Buck, J. Bulal, all them guys and them. Some of them had to run away in the end. People like Ivan Bola.
All them Rasta to run.
Had to run away from this country. Because Bishop, all the fellas who take over the country with Bishop, he jail them. What kind of sense is that? And I want to make Bishop, this is nothing about Bishop being a hero in this country. Bishop, and I like
Bishop was a criminal.
I'm a hating person. But Bishop did worse than what Gary did. That's a fact.
What Gary do?
No, Gary don't have that stupidness.
But what? I constantly ask them what. You see, you had a court system that you could have challenged Gary in the court.
Court don't make a difference at the time.
How court don't make difference? Bishop had a battery of lawyers. If he felt, they could have tied up Gary with cases in the court. Gary was bringing them up and winning.
But Gary dominated and controlled the situation similar to what Bishop did. But the thing about it is that with Bishop and them, they put aside every aspect of law, and Bishop become the law. Or the soldiers are along with him.
We have to stand up, we have to be against this.
Obnoxious way. But the point I'm making, it proved in the end that what the revolution did was worse than Gary, and I predicted it long before it happened.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was a member of the party.
Yeah.
And I said over and over that when we get into power, we'll be no different from Gary and the gay rights. So some people who want to justify the revolution, they need to understand these facts. And I was a part of, not the revolution itself. I'm talking about I was a part of the party.
The alliance.
And I finish it now, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
The motto of the party was, let those who labor hold the reign. That's the motto of the NGM party, original. In the end, all who labor had during the years fighting Hungary, all the Budlal guys, all the fellas from Tivoli, all the fellas from Vasali, Paraclete and this kind of area, Hermitage, all this kind of area, Bishop jailed them. So they hold the reign. The very motto of the party, he went against it. And watch.
Yeah.
He faced the facts about Bishop. Bishop become an evil guy, and that's the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it having been in the inside. So all of those bystanders or just admirers of Bishop on the talk, they need to know the facts. Let those who labor hold the reign was thrown down the drain. Pure and simple. Take care, sir.
Yes, we have to be consistent about the past in Grenada. There was excesses in the Gary era, but it could be challenged in court. There are some cases that was challenged in court. I heard about the flushing a toilet, individual in the toilet. A case was brought in front of the court, and the guys who won the case, they buy a boat. Well, they was dealing with illegal drinks that time, and people was laughing because a few months after that, they're back in jail again because the police hold them again. But there were excesses. But at least you could have taken people to court. And then remember, Maurice Bishop had a battery of lawyers. But they did not seem to want to fight in the court. And they could not have won with the one man, one vote. So they decided to overthrow the country by force. But the justification they gave for overthrowing the country, that is why Tillman Thomas and Leslie Pierre and them find themselves in jail. They wanted to have a free press. They had to be naive and dumb. They had hated Gary so much that they don't recognize if you overthrow the government by force, you can have free press. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
And you know, Mr. Pierre, I'm hearing you talking. I'm listening to you. But Mr. Pierre, I never heard anything about Bernard Code. Nothing. Everything is Morris Bishop. Bernard Code doing nothing wrong.
You well
Just
because
think about it.
well, you see, I think one.
Everything you say is about Morris Bishop.
I think one day I got to
Bishop.
speak about Bernard Code.
Morris doing wrong. But was not Morris alone.
One of these days we got to speak about Bernard Code. You don't find so?
Call Liam James, call Cornwall, call Lane, and ask them about the meeting they had in the house. In Bernard Code house. Yes, I mean, let me know what's going on. This is the man we got to get to come and hear instead of people shooting them out and saying Morris. They had a central committee.
But Morris was the leader.
And no one man could make decisions.
And
Majority rule. And that's why they vote against Morris Bishop. You know what I mean? So we have to get it right, Mr. Pierre.
But Morris Bishop abstained.
And just saying all kind of things and give Bernard Code a free pass. You know what I mean? Come on, Mr. Pierre. Anyhow, have a good day.
Yes, you see, Morris Bishop was a poll leader. He was an orator. He spoke well. He had good ideas that attracted the attention of people in Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa. He was this anti-imperialism rhetoric that was common at the time. Ralph Gonzalez and Douglas and them guys liked Bishop. But Morris Bishop was a poor manager. The members of the Central Committee described Bishop as a petty bourgeois, a womanizer, and they say lazy. Bernard Code was seen as the hard, dedicated, idealistic worker in the country. He was the Minister of Finance. Morris Bishop used to attend classes led by Bernard Code. When the comrades realized that the things is not going well, they said, let us go deeper into Marxist-Leninism. But Morris Bishop is reluctant to take this deep. So they proposed joint leadership. Morris Bishop did not object to joint leadership. He abstained. 9 or 11 of them vote for. Morris Bishop abstained, and George Louison and 2 others vote against joint leadership. George Louison was the most vocal one, speaking against joint leadership. When Morris Bishop go away, Fidel Castro tell Bishop not to accept this joint leadership thing at all. So then Morris Bishop say he understand, he not against the principle, but you don't understand the workability. What about workability? Big liar like you don't understand. And Morris Bishop evoked the Angola option. He lied. He said Bernard Code, he told his 2 security, go and spread a rumor. Bernard Code and Phyllis Code want to kill me. Tell the cook, tell Leslie in St. David's, I can't remember who is the third one. They told the cook, and they're going to report it to Butler House. And when they call on Bishop, Bishop denied, and they present evidence, he say, yes, comrade, lie. You tell me that. So they lock up Bishop. And that's how you come to the end of the program quickly. Hour pass. We will not be here with you tomorrow, but we'll be back with you again Wednesday between 12 and 1 to continue the conversation, or maybe to speak about Bernard Code or anything else. Thank you very much.